Dear brothers and sisters, I'm sure we all have heard an incident that changed the life of Martin of Tours. He was a 4th century Archbishop of Tours. But it said that when he was 18 years old, he was a soldier. And one day they said he sat on his horse, fully dressed, the soldier with a coat too, and went in the city to visit somebody. And as he moved, he says he saw a leper. And seeing his sight, he felt disgusted, hated, because he was full of sores. And he felt like moving to the other side. But something happened within himself. And he stopped, went to the leper, got home his horse, took off his coat, made 2 pieces of it and gave one to the leper and one he wore himself and moved on. And those people, when they saw the incident, they laughed at him. So, a soldier doing this thing, they all laughed at him. That night he had a dream. In the dream he saw Jesus dressed in that half coat which he had given to the leper. And Jesus telling the angels around, he says, look, it says, this, what I'm wearing now, the half coat, was given to me by this soldier, Martin. And when he got up, he realized something has happened within him. Something has happened. He felt touched and moved and gave up, so-called, his life to serve the earthly king and went to serve an eternal king, Christ himself. He was healed within. And today's reading, in a way, speak about healing. We read in the Gospel an encounter between Jesus and a leper. And we can say both Jesus and the leper broke the Mosaic law given the Leviticus. Both of them broke. If you see the leper, in those days, about Jesus' time, anyone who had any sores on his body or balls on the body which erupted and says he has got leprosy. And he has been cursed by God because he is a sinner. That was the thinking. So their condition was horrible. They had to live in far wilderness. And though they were human beings, they could not live a human life because they were marginalized, far away. They could not live a life in society or in a family or even religious life because everything was cut away from them. They were cursed. That's what they believed. And here you find this leper living in such conditions, coming towards Jesus. And the Lord said, if you come in the society for any shopping or nothing, you must cover your head up to the lip and say, unclean, unclean. Means people move out, but they felt it's contagious. But he breaks the law of Moses, Leviticus, and comes to Jesus boldly with faith. Lord, make me clean. If you see the side of Jesus, he used to break the Mosaic law. The Lord said, if you touch a leper, you become unclean. And Jesus touches the leper and says, I want you to be healed. And the leper is healed. A sense of touch brings about a lot of change into our lives. You go and touch a person who is suffering. If someone has lost somebody, put a hand over him or her, the person feels comforted. Somebody has come, is sharing in my sorrow. We put a hand around a friend who is in difficulties, he or she feels comforted. You also begin friendships, which turn eventually into a love affair and get married, starting maybe with a sense of touch. So sense of touch brings about wholeness of person, healing within himself, brings about relationship. This is what Jesus did. He touched the leper. The leper felt, I'm a human being too. Though I've been outraged by society, here's a person who accepts me as I am and who wants me to live a normal human life. This incident tells us to do a number of things. First, tells us all of us have leprosy. Different type. Maybe a selfishness, maybe a pride, maybe egotism, and so on. That's what it keeps people away. We keep them away. So living in a society, living at home, living in an institution, be religious or not, we, in a way, keep people away. Say, in a school, there are children at home who feel lonely. They're staying in a family, feel lonely, only because they want to share what's happened in the class today among their friends. Parents are busy. They come back from work, or they're in laptops, they're in Don't have time. They're feeling lonely. When we find a society in religious life, we want to share something with others, they have no time. They feel lonely. And we make them lonely because we don't go out to them. Leprosy we have, I think others have, but we have first. So Lord tells us today, search, look, who are those people like who need our attention? Second, he said, do not discriminate people. If you see the life of Jesus, he went about doing good to everybody. Jews, Gentiles, with faith, no faith, sinners, good to everybody. All were his children, brothers and sisters. But what do we do in actual practical life? Those who come on our way, who cross our paths, say they not belong to my caste, my society, I keep them away because I will be defiled. I will become unclean. The Lord telling us, do not discriminate. Thirdly, he says, all of you in a way are lepers. We all are sick. I may be physically fit, but within myself I may be suffering. I may be longing for love, for affection, for compassion, someone to listen to me. Or I myself may have this other sicknesses which I mentioned, selfishness, pride, egoism, acquiring more and more. So as long as we have this within us, we can't go out to help people. Jesus went out because Jesus was free from within and from without. So he could go out. He himself was a person full of love, compassion. So he could share this with others. Are we such people? Our hearts filled with love, compassion, empathy for others? Or all the time bickering, have negative feelings about ourselves and others. And as long as we have them, we cannot live human life. Just like the lepers had to live outside the society, they could not live human life because they were discriminated. So we also at times do that. So today, on this day, is the day of World Day of the Sick. Let's look at our own lives and say, are we sick? I'm sure all of us are sick. What sickness do I have? May not be physical, but do I have mental sickness, psychological one? What is that? So let's pause for a while, look at our own lives and see, am I sick? We are. What is the sickness I have? Then let's go to Jesus, ask the Lord, lay your hand on me at present and heal me of that sickness.